You're listening to the Fast Intentions Podcast. Now here are your hosts, Nathan and Todd.
Thank you, Tanner, for that lovely intro.
Deep voice guy.
Deep voice guy. I'm your host, Nathan, alongside my co-host, my dad, Todd. How you doing today, my man?
Good. Just got off work and came over to the Fast Intentions Studios to record the pod.
Oh, yeah. You got to spray down Febreze before we start.
Yes, that does help.
I am a very cleanly person. It's just, sometimes it smells up here. But that's a different subject for a different episode. We're here on episode 18 of Fast Intentions. I'm still shocked that we've ever made it this far.
I know, right?
But it's going strong. It's going strong, and we still like to do it, so that's all that matters.
Episode 18, the Brooke Behringer episode.
Yeah, it's a Brooke Behringer episode. That's the one we're going with.
Yeah. Do you know much about Brooke and his history with Nebraska? Or?
He was a quarterback.
Yeah.
And he took over for Tommy Frazier, right? When he was hurt. Mm-hmm. And then Tommy Frazier come back and played in the championship game. Mm-hmm. And then they won.
Yeah.
And then he left, and then he was the starter the next year, correct?
He had
to wait another year?
He was done. He was going to go. He was eligible for the NFL draft.
Oh, okay. I knew someone goes to a draft. Yeah.
Yeah. You have it. He's from Goodland, Kansas, and he came up here, and he was a pretty good quarterback, but he was stuck behind Tommy Frazier, and then Tommy Frazier had the issue with the blood clots.
Yeah.
So then Brooke played, and then in a game, I believe it was against Wyoming, he got hit really hard, and he had a collapsed lung, so he had to leave the game. And the other quarterbacks played, and Nebraska was kind of struggling. Well, Brooke came back after halftime and led Nebraska to a win after having the collapsed lung. And then he played so well, a lot of people thought he should have still been the starter. But Tom Osborne, said when Tommy comes back, he's going to be the starter. So when Tommy came back, he got anointed the starter, and Brooke, took his place on the second team and didn't make a big fuss or anything. So people really respected him for that. And then come to the national championship game against Miami, Tommy was kind of struggling, so they brought Brooke in to play for a while. And Brooke played pretty well and led Nebraska to their first touchdown. Made a bad interception on a ball he was trying to throw away and just didn't throw it out of the end zone far enough. And then, of course, Tommy Frazier came back in and led him to that first national title. And then there was scuttlebutt that Brooke might be a potential NFL draft pick, with the tools he had at quarterback. And then, unfortunately, he died in a plane crash with his girlfriend's brother.
Yeah, wasn't he flying it?
Yeah, he was flying it, and it was just a tragic news, and it really tore the heart out of Nebraskans and stuff. And he's still a very respected and revered player. And if you see the statue out front of the Tom Osborne complex, it's Tom Osborne with his arm around a player talking to him, and it's actually Brooke Behringer. So, a little history of Brooke and what he went through and what he meant to people. And he was, a lot of the school kids really liked him because he would go and talk to the school kids, And then what he would do is at the end of his talk, he would grab a basketball and he'd dunk it. And all the kids thought that was really cool. So he was about 6'5", I think. So
it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good dunk then.
Yeah, he's a pretty good athlete. So.
Yeah, the Brooke Behringer episode. Not probably the other person you're thinking of. But Brooke Behringer from the Nebraska people. Because I can't think of any other 18s besides.
Kyle Orton, the old Chicago Bears quarterback. But interestingly enough, he wore 18 because of Brooke Behringer.
Randy Orton?
Randy Orton?
Yeah, Randy Orton or Kyle Orton?
Kyle Orton.
I know, I'm joking.
Oh.
Because we were talking about wrestling earlier.
Yeah.
And then Peyton Manning was the other one.
Yeah.
So,
but he never really did nothing.
Well, he yells our town out a lot. Omaha.
He does.
Omaha. So, I mean, it's still Nebraska, I guess. I didn't even think of that.
Well, if you ever watch Peyton Places, it's produced by Omaha Productions. So he's taken that ball and ran with it.
Yes, because everyone knows him for Omaha.
Mm-hmm.
So, cool. What do you want to... So, this isn't going to be the longest episode of Fast Attention. Well, we don't think so. Every time we say it's not going to be long, it ends up being like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Because we always just ramble about stupid stuff. But we don't have a whole lot coming in. But I have some basketball talk, so I'm excited about that. I like basketball. I don't get to talk about it a whole lot. Since the playoffs started, it's probably a good time. I do want to say I was committed to getting into hockey after a little bit. I'm fully committed, finally. I was watching a lot of Penguin games. They don't make the playoffs for the first time in like 16 years. I go, well, maybe this is just fate.
It was you.
It was me.
It was you. It's all your fault.
But I was there when they won back-to-back. I watched those.
Yeah, we watched the one
rounds
together.
Yeah, so I did enjoy those, but
yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'll get back into it. Because I was like, well, I am a Boston guy, but I'm like, the Bruins are having like a historical year. And I've already watched the Penguins, so I go, there's no way I could like switch now. I feel like that'd be kind of like bandwagoning. So I'll stick with Pittsburgh. They still got a good team, and they don't make the playoffs. So, but now everyone's fired. They're also owned by the same people that own the Red Sox. So that's actually probably a bad thing for me, because then I got to deal with the stupid owners in 2 franchises now. So, but yeah, I just wanted to throw out. So hockey playoffs start, but we don't know a whole lot about. Well, we know about hockey, but we're not like.
Well,
I want to consider ourselves experts.
I basically follow my team and what they do, and then kind of keep the other stuff on the periphery.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I hope to get into it more, but I'm not at that point where you would want to listen to me give hockey predictions because I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
The Stanley Cup playoffs just started this week, and
yes,
it's probably the funnest playoff sport to watch because it's just back and forth, and every second counts. Every shot counts. It could be potentially the game winner or what have you.
I've seen Bergeron's been out for the first few games.
Yeah,
that's all I know.
Yep.
So yeah, we're not going to talk about hockey, but I'll talk about some basketball.
Well,
do you want to start with basketball, or what do you want to start with?
Since you're talking about Boston, I wanted to start with Boston.
Oh, but there you go. I see. Look, that was a planned segue.
Very good. Here, golf clap for you.
Thank you. Should I get a golf clap sound effect?
Sure. Did you celebrate Patriots Day?
I celebrated it by working.
It's the day where the Boston Marathon takes place, and then the Red Sox always play a real early morning game. Do you know what Patriots Day actually is?
No.
It's the anniversary of the start of the revolution. It's Patriots Day is the date that the first shots were fired at Lexington and Concord.
Oh, maybe I did know that, but not off the top of my head, obviously.
Yeah. And then, like I said, I mentioned the marathon, and I wanted to ask you about. Do you know that in connection with marathon running? Do you know the name Rosie Ruiz?
No.
Well, she was a marathon runner back in the 80s.
1980s?
Yeah. And she finished 11th in the New York City Marathon. And that qualified her to automatically be in the Boston Marathon, which is the biggest marathon probably in the world, notoriety-wise. Mm-hmm. So comes out, Rosie Ruiz ends up winning the Boston Marathon. And she bests the best time ever by like 3 minutes. And, people are just aghast because they've never really seen or heard of her before. But here she is, and she just sets a new world record. Well, almost immediately, red flags start popping up. She's not like overly sweaty, like most of the runners like just dripping sweat. Well, she's not really sweating that much. And apparently some of the clothing she was wearing wasn't appropriate gear to wear for a marathon. And simple questions that other people were asking about her, kind of, what kind of training she was doing and stuff. She didn't know. I think they asked her about interval training, and she's like, "What's that? I don't know what that is." She goes, "People keep asking about that." Well, it turns out that she takes the medal and takes it home as the winner, and they start doing a press tour, and then she's constantly just getting bombarded by questions about, her validity, and she's just like saying, "I ran the 26.2 miles. I did it, and I finished first," and then she would break down and what have you. So people kept investigating this. Well, it turns out in New York City, she ran across a photographer getting on the L during the New York City Marathon, and she had apparently told this photographer that she had hurt her ankle and was getting on the L to ride down towards the end of the race, because she wanted to get off and cheer on her friends or teammates or whatever. And but apparently somewhere along the line she got back and started running and finished 11th. Well, apparently that's the same thing basically happened in Boston. But the problem was she lost all track of time and where she was at. And so they believe she had no intent of actually coming out and trying to win the race. She just popped out, not seeing any female runners, thinking that she maybe had waited too long. And so she just kind of popped out of, I think a couple people said she just kind of came out of some bushes somewhere and started running. Well, she miscalculated and she ended up winning. And like I said, setting this world record. Well, she had no plans on being the winner of the Boston Marathon. You know, she thought she would just do something like she did in New York City. Because if you finished 10th or 11th, okay, yeah, but nobody makes a big deal because you didn't win it.
Yeah.
Well, by her miscalculation, she ended up winning the whole thing. And eventually it was found out. Now, I don't think she ever actually admitted guilt. And also, she kept the medal. She never returned the medal up till the day she died. I believe she passed away in 2019.
When did they find out?
I think they found out pretty surely because what they do is that.
Shirley?
Oh, sorry.
No, I know. It's just funny.
Don't call me Shirley. They have like checkpoints along the race route, and they have photographs. Well, she was never in any of these, packs, towards the front or anything until like the last checkpoint, and then all of a sudden there she was. So that that arose suspicion. But just the fact that she didn't know much about the training lingo they were talking about, and the fact she was wearing the wrong clothes and not sweating much, and then the men's champion while she was on that tour, he was with her, and he was trying to console her, because she was breaking down and feeling bad, and he goes, I don't think she had ever had any intent of trying to win. She just, like he said, miscalculated and popped out at the wrong time, and because she even said, she goes, I didn't even know I was winning. She goes, I didn't see any other females. I wasn't really watching for them. I was just running my own race. And she goes, I was like really surprised when they put the wreath on my head because like the Greek, I want to say Grecian wreath. I don't know if that's but the winners all get that wreath placed on their head. So just an interesting story that whenever I think of the Boston Marathon, sometimes I think of her and it was the biggest sensation there for a couple of days, and then eventually everybody just started, doubting the whole thing. And you kind of felt bad for her. She just got in over her head and didn't know how to get out of it. So she just kept, her approach was just hunker down and kept deny. So, but just interesting story, I thought.
This is story time with Father.
Yes. Sit on my lap, Nathan. Oh, no, get off, Nathan, get off. Now, I will say this.
That was lame.
Sorry. Patriots Day is only celebrated in 6 states. I'll give you one.
Massachusetts.
Do you think you know the other?
New York.
No.
Virginia.
No.
Fuck. Connecticut.
Yes.
Rhode Island.
That's 2. No.
Maine.
Yes, 3. And then.
I'm thinking of Vermont.
Nope. There's one more on the East Coast, and the other 2 are like more Middle America.
New Hampshire.
No.
I gotta think of all the stupid states up there.
No, you don't have to.
Pennsylvania.
No.
West Virginia. Did I say Virginia? West Virginia.
Nope. Farther south.
South Carolina. Georgia.
Farther south.
Florida.
There you go.
And Colorado.
And then Midwest. Where's
Kansas. Missouri.
No, Big Ten team.
Michigan.
Nope.
Minnesota.
Nope. It's by the Great Lakes.
Michigan. I was about to say Michigan State. Ohio.
No.
Illinois. I'm trying to think of this Big Ten team. Indiana.
We were there a couple years ago.
We were?
See a football game.
Oh, Oklahoma.
Nope.
Oh, that's a big
professional
Big 12 anyway.
professional game.
That was Big 12 anyway.
Professional game. We spent the whole day with that one gentleman entertaining us.
Oh, Wisconsin.
Yes.
I'm stupid. Why couldn't I think of that?
And yes, you are stupid, but don't feel bad. And North Dakota is the other one.
Oh, fucking North Dakota.
And Wisconsin just recognized it in 2001, but apparently it's not actually a legal holiday there. So
yeah, we don't like North Dakota. The hockey fans are assholes.
We like South Dakota better.
They're all right.
Great faces, great places.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
That's their slogan.
I know.
I do want to go back to South Dakota someday, though.
You want to see great faces and great places?
Mm-hmm, I do.
My friends and I are planning our New Year's trip.
Oh, yeah?
We're going to Orlando.
Orlando?
Yeah. They want to go to a theme park.
Oh.
I said, good thing I'm losing weight so I can fit in the rides.
Are you tall enough?
I think I'm tall enough. It just depends if I'm too fat to fit in them.
Yeah.
Because then some of them got like the overhead. And I'll be like, oh, man, they're stuck on my man titties.
Well, that's Uncle Todd's story time. So
And the Red Sox lost that game. Woo!
Yeah.
And it was started an hour late because of rain.
Yeah, that'd be a fun game to go to, I think, some year. Just, go to like a 10 a.m. start baseball game. That'd be awesome. So, what do you got?
Oh, and then do we have any more baseball?
Well, We haven't really started. This is like the prelude to the show.
Oh, okay.
Because this is usually the section that you want to do your eyebrow raisers before we get into the meat of the show.
Well, I don't have one. Do you have one?
Don't? I do have one.
All right. Well, then we'll get Dwayne out here.
All right.
Pie-eating, trailblazing, eyebrow-raising.
I do smell what you're cooking. I think it's burnt. Did you see this when the Cubs were back at Dodger Stadium for the first time and Cody Bellinger made his first plate appearance?
No, what happened?
Well, he got a standing ovation.
Makes sense.
So he stood out, waved his cap and everything, thanked people and whatever. So he steps in the box, takes a couple warm swings, and the umpire calls time and calls a pitch clock violation on him. And I'm like, really?
That's funny.
Yeah, so you can't really tell when he starts the countdown, but yeah, Cody he was waving, and all that, and just stepped in and 2 practice swings, pitch clock violation. I thought, really?
No, I didn't see that.
It's you got to have a little bit of grace for something like that, but that was crazy.
May I ask you, what are your thoughts of the pitch clock so far? Now that we're like 3 weeks into the year.
To be honest with you, it's hard to say. I haven't seen a lot of instances where it's popped up last couple weeks. I know we talked about Manny Machado originally, but since I don't have Cox cable anymore, I don't get to see all the Royals games like I usually watch. I could get the Bally Sports app, but it's like $20 a month. I'm like, oh.
So I watch them lose every day.
Yeah, I know. So I haven't been able to watch the games as much, but I haven't heard much on the national level, with anything. But I know you went to a AAA game today, and you said that thing was over in like 2 hours and 15 minutes. So
it was like 2 hours, 10 minutes. It was over.
Just zip by.
I know, it's crazy. I mean, because people argue like, "Whoa, what's making baseball shorter?" Well, technically, it's not. It's just getting rid of all the in between shit. So technically, you're still seeing the same amount of baseball. It's just a lot quicker. So
yeah.
It would be. I like that it's like cutting time down a lot because it is nice that there's not a lot of. Because I'll even watch some baseball games. I'm like, oh my god, we're like 4 hours now. Like, come on, hurry it up. But then I feel like 2 hours is like too fast. So I think they need to. I don't know if there's a way to like balance it because even if because when we were at that game, the guy it was the Omaha AAA team. So he would get
Storm
the ball,
Chasers?
He'd grab it, yeah, and he would just start going. Like there's still like 8 seconds. There's like 9 seconds left on the clock, and he's already throwing the pitch. So he was zooming. So it just kind of depends on who takes up more of the 15 or 20 seconds. But because I don't think they can raise the time, I guess. But is that really going to limit a pitcher who's in their rhythm? So
yeah. Hey, I got breaking news here. Max Scherzer. Umpire Phil Cuzzi wanted to check his glove between innings, and he was asked to find a replacement glove before taking the field. He yells, "It's rosin! It's rosin!" Well, Scherzer has been ejected between innings following a conversation between the umpires and a substance check. And there's a video online. You can see him yelling that it's rosin, and they tossed him, and he's very upset. I'm watching the video now.
No, yeah, I did see that. I was actually going to mention that before.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I didn't write it down. Oh, I didn't talk about it beforehand, but I just thought of it.
No, I was going to say Marty Cordero did post something on Twitter. He's the GM of the Storm Chasers. He says, how can we, what did he say? It was something like, how can we create a good fan experience with for people when the games are getting over this quick? He was asking for suggestions or ideas from people on how to, bump up the atmosphere or whatever at the games. So
people they had smart comments. I did see that post too. People said put sprinklers in the outfield so that we have like a rain delay in between. No.
Yeah, you can't post anything online trying to be serious without getting a bunch of smart aleck comments. That thing really drives me crazy. So.
Oh yeah, you just gotta expect it. Yeah. So I saw Max Scherzer. He's the third pitcher to ever get ejected because of it, and I believe that umpire is the one that's thrown out all of them.
Well, see, that's the thing, though. They need to try to enforce it uniformly. If guys are giving leniencies where other guys are being so stringent, I mean, it's not really fair,
Well, I don't know what the whole parameters of all that is, but I don't think – are you allowed to have rosin on your glove? I don't think
Yeah, they have a rosin. They put a rosin bag out there for
I don't know if
pitchers.
you're supposed to, you could, put it up. I don't know if you're supposed to lay on your glove. I don't know the rules. So.
I don't. I know rosin's supplied, so.
Yeah, so now I think he gets a 10-game suspension.
Well,
he appeals it.
I'm sure he'll appeal it and he can play, but I mean, I don't know how he's gonna. They're gonna hold his glove in custody until they can test it. I mean, I don't know. And if it turns out to be rosin, okay, our mistake. We shouldn't have ejected you. Yeah, but you threw him out of the game, and so he didn't get a pitch that game. So you can't make that up.
Well, I guess it means he does have to miss 2 more starts or potential starts.
Well, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how that falls out. So.
Oh, and I didn't write this down. I forgot about it. But did you see those? They're testing out new rules in like the whatever. Some baseball league, MLB's testing out new rules.
Is that the Savannah Bananas?
No. All right. Well, I want you to stall for a sec while I look this up.
Okay. Yeah, it's the pitch clock and the timer and all that stuff. I mean, it's just, everybody says it should be easy to get used to, but I mean, you do things a certain way for so long. It's like I'm at the post office. I've been doing things the same way for 22 years, and then they make little changes, and it's like you still find yourself going back to the old ways just out of habit, so.
All right, I found it. Thanks for stalling.
Yeah.
So the Atlantic League, on April 28th, MLB is going to test 3 new rules, just for fun, I guess. So you want to hear these rules?
Yeah.
So I know people were mad about baseball changing with the rules they implemented this year, but I would argue that those, they don't like change the game necessarily. They're just kind of, it's like rule adjustments kind of. The pitch clock's a big one, but it's not taking away. It's just making the game shorter. Mm-hmm. But these are interesting. So one is the designated pitch runner. So a club will list a player who's not in the starting lineup as a pitch runner. That player may be substituted at any point in the game as a base runner. The player who's substituted for, they can return to the game without penalty. So he can just be a pitch runner, and then that guy who pitch ran for it can go back in.
This is beginning to sound more and more like your sister softball league when they played when they were like 10, 11, 12.
So, yeah, you can have a pitch runner, but he can just be a pitch runner, and then he doesn't have to take over. So who's a slow play on the Royals? Pasquantino slow?
Yeah.
So if he gets on, if he gets on first, well, we want to keep him in the lineup. We'll put Gerard Dyson isn't there anymore, but we'll put Gerard because that's what Speed do on there, and then he can get back out. So that's one of them. Oh, and then this one's not as bad. The new MLB rule allows a pitcher to disengage twice from the
mound.
Yeah, they're going to make it so it's only once. And this new one's called the double hook DH rule, which allows club to use the designated hitter throughout the game, provided that the club's starting pitcher has completed at least 5 innings. If the starter fails to make it through 5 innings, the club loses their DH for the rest of the game.
That's stupid. This is getting ridiculous.
MLB continues to be in the mood for experimentation under Rob Manfred.
Yeah, experiment all you want at the low levels of baseball, but yeah, that's just too much. I mean, you pretty much got what you want now. You don't need to expound on it. Just, stay with the status quo for now.
Yes, I agree. I think that
you got to have it for at least a whole year before you do anything with it.
I think, yeah.
Plus or minus.
Well, I think that's doing too much. Like, just changing baseball, like, for no reason. At least the pitch clock's trying to help the game just get along. Mm-hmm. So, and I think it's worked for the most part. Even though, I think it would be nice if they could somehow make it a little longer. Maybe like 2.5 hours, maybe close to 3. But like, I don't think it was the Patriots Day game. I think it's the one before that Red Sox Angels game. It was 1 hour and 57 minutes. God, if I ever watched a Red Sox game, that was less than 2 hours before in my life. If it wasn't a rain delay,
I feel like I went and got my money's worth.
Exactly.
I just got my hot dog.
And then I think some ballparks are doing alcohol sales through the 8th now. Because it gets to the 7th too quick.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So now they're losing alcohol sales. But I think if the game goes faster and more people go, hopefully that would make up the difference. I'm not sure. But that's a Rob Manfred thing to decide, not me.
That's true.
So, all right. So I think that's baseball.
Sweet.
You don't want the double hook DH rule?
How is Herc spelled? H-E-R-K or H-E-R-K?
Hook. Double hook.
Oh, hook. I thought you said Herc.
Well, I have a speech impediment, sorry.
Speech impediment?
Speech impediment, yeah.
Okay. What do you want to go into?
Well, I have
basketball?
I have a lot of NBA, and I have one NFL thing.
Well, let's get your NFL thing out, and then we'll just hit the basketball hard.
All right, so Jalen Hurt signed his 5-year, $220 $255 million extension, not $225, $255. So, thoughts on that? I think he's well deserving of it.
Based on his play, I mean, it's only really based on 1 year, what he did in 1 year. But, I mean, he showed flashes last year, and then, I really greatly underestimated him for this year, but played really well. I mean, he was injured a little bit, which,
It's always a concern.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's not, we'll have to see if that's an issue going forward. But, I mean, he's a good-sized kid, so, I mean, he should hold up pretty well.
Yeah, he seems like a good guy, too.
I guess the interesting take is if this will affect the Lamar Jackson situation or not, because he's still holding out and wants the Deshaun Watson-type money. And so I don't know if he'll keep after that, because the whole thing with Deshaun Watson's the whole contract was guaranteed, everything. And usually it's just like the signing bonuses. So we'll be interested to see if this makes any dent in that impasse or what going forward. I mean, anytime the Ravens struggle with anything, I'm more than happy to watch that. But
yeah,
you do want to see Lamar Jackson play. He's a good player when he's healthy, but the Ravens aren't in a position to trade him. I mean, it's a little bit like not totally, but kind of like the Green Bay Packers with Aaron Rodgers situation, where they kind of hold the cards in that deal. And so, I mean, if he wants to sit out, he can sit out. I mean, yeah, it'll cost him some money, but we'll see. You kind of thought maybe something might get resolved with the draft coming up next week. You don't want to have that situation sitting there because that could affect who you draft or what you draft.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see if somewhere along the line, the first couple rounds, the Ravens draft a quarterback. That might throw up some red flags. I mean, that must be the theme of the show today, red flags. But
this is the red flag episode.
Yes. So we'll see.
Yeah. Shout out to Jalen Hurts. Like we said, we kind of questioned him going into the year, and he proved us otherwise. He was an MVP candidate. He probably would have got it, too, if he didn't get hurt those few games.
And I know Patrick Mahomes gave him a shout-out, and he said it was good for the African-American quarterbacks to be recognized and get paid what they're worth finally and stuff. So, of course, that's only going to help him get a bigger payday when his contract comes up. But it'll be seen because, you can only put so much of your salary cap towards your quarterback because then it hamstrings you for the rest of your team. I mean, do you remember when Joe Flacco with the Ravens got that big deal and then they had to let a bunch of guys go because of salary cap numbers, and then it just kind of took the bottom out from underneath, cut the legs out from underneath that franchise, and they never really did recover.
Well, that was the best time for the Chiefs to win their first one because Mahomes was still on his rookie deal.
Yeah.
They won.
Yeah.
But then we didn't know Mahomes would be like the next coming great quarterback ever. So, I mean, even if he's making a crap ton of money and they don't have much else, he can kind of, just take them over. But
well, this is when your evaluation really comes into play, and maybe you try to re-sign these guys to a new deal after a couple of years. I don't know.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to be paying. If they're any good, you're going to be paying them as the most costly player in the league.
Jordan Love's going to get that contract in 2 years.
Yeah, well, you hope.
God, I hope so. I'm excited to see him play, though.
All
right, so that's all I had for the NFL. Do you have
ready to
anything
move
else?
to the hard court?
Yeah, the NBA.
No, I'm excited for the draft. We're not scheduled to record before the draft next week, but I don't know. Maybe we'll do a quick something after we talk about our teams or in the draft itself, what we think. But
yeah, I'm not a draft expert by any means.
Oh, me neither. I'm excited though. I do listen to Mel Kiper Jr. I like to follow him and Todd McShay. They have a pod that I think I've mentioned before, and and then if you follow your team fairly regularly, they all talk about draft prospects and what they might do or what they might not do, and players they like, players they don't like. So,
well, stupid. What's his face? The Ohio State receiver. They keep having him going to Tennessee now. At like 12. I think it's 12. Or Jackson Smith. Yeah.
Njigba?
I don't know how to say his name, so I don't want to butcher it.
Jackson Smith in Jigba.
Yeah. So I was hoping he followed Green Bay, but I don't know if he will.
Well, a lot of people would like that Zay Jones, too, so he's a possibility.
Yeah.
But depends if you want a slot receiver.
That means Green Bay is going to draft like a safety.
Well, it's hard to predict because it just depends on what everybody does above you. You have the guys everybody ranks as the 10 best or 15 best or whatever. But, if somebody like, sometimes like the Raiders will go and grab some guy you're not expecting. Or
the Raiders?
Or if there's a run on the quarterbacks, if, somebody wants to get one of those quarterbacks, then, that's 4 of those. And some people have that Hendon Hooker in there. Oh, he would be 5. I don't expect him to go in the top part of the first round. I mean, he could sneak in the back of the first or second. But so every time that happens, that just pushes people back. So
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
And then you never know. Teams have people on top of their boards. So
yeah,
Who the hell's Mel Kiper, anyways? All right, yeah. So we'll go to the NBA now.
Yeah, the whole interesting tidbit is that whole scenario took place after the Colts drafted Trev Alberts, the current Nebraska AD.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember that. I wasn't alive, but
Just a little Nebraska tie in there.
yeah, I didn't see that before.
Yeah.
All right, so the NBA.
Hey, if you think about it, why don't you tweet that little thing out on our Twitter page at FIntentionspod about between Mel Kiper and the Indianapolis Colts GM.
I'll see if I can find it.
All right.
All right, so we'll go with the old news quick because we haven't been here for a while. So I know you got some old NBA news, and then I got some old NBA news too. But there was a Rudy Gobert situation.
I got some old NBA news for you, Sonny.
All right. Pretend I never heard that. So there's some old NBA news involving Rudy Gobert and his teammate. I think it was the final game of the year against the Pelicans, and they were arguing on the sideline.
I saw this.
Kyle Anderson and Rudy Gobert were yelling at each other. Apparently, they were yelling about, as they put it, they were arguing about defense and rebounding. They were yelling at each other about how they were doing on there. And so I guess Rudy Gobert was saying too much, and so Kyle Anderson told him to shut the bleep up bleep. And so Rudy Gobert's response was
feel free to fill in the blanks on your own accord.
Gobert's response was to try and punch him. And so what the Timberwolves did is they took him off the bench and told him to go home because that wasn't acceptable conduct, and he got suspended for the first round of the play-in. So they still won the game against the Pelicans to clinch the 8th seed, and so they went to go play the Lakers, but they didn't have Gobert. So that was a big debacle for a little bit. It's kind of resolved now already because he served his 1-game suspension. Mike Conley said he texted the group chat like immediately afterwards and apologized, and they said, "Well, all grown men will get over it." And so now they're in the first round against the Nuggets. So
I didn't see. Have they played a second game yet? But I know they got beat pretty good in the first game.
yes, and the second game's tonight actually,
Okay.
as we record on Wednesday, April 19th. Because who knows when this will get up? Probably tomorrow.
Maybe on April 20th.
Probably. So, yeah, so that I just wanted to touch on that because that was news for a while. Mm-hmm. And so that was a big fiasco, too, especially if Rudy Gobert's not getting along with his teammates. After Timberwolves traded like 15,000 first-round picks to get him. They traded like 6 to get him, and some of them are like picks in 2029. So the Timberwolves, they're barely making the playoffs. They're probably going to get swept by the Nuggets. And now they're giving away all their assets to the Jazz.
Yeah.
So it's a really bad trade. But shout out Danny Ainge. He's the president of basketball operations for Utah. He was our president of basketball operations. He's really good at finessing for those first round picks.
Sweet music to the Jazz.
If you're a Celtics fan, yeah, sweet music.
Where's our rim shot?
No sound effect for that. We'll do that.
Oh.
We'll do that verbally.
Okay.
So, but yeah. So I will give the floor to you.
I was going to touch base on DeMar DeRozan's daughter, DR, I think her name is, D-I-A-R, and she was at the Chicago play-in game against the Raptors, and she was constantly yelling while the other team was shooting free throws and what have you. And apparently it got so bad that they were escorted out by both security from the venue because the Bulls had received some online threats, according to NBA and TNT reporter Chris Haynes. And DeMar said as long as she was there with her father, I wasn't worried about anything happening. So, and they said it was just a precautionary measure. But funny post later was the Chicago Bulls account tweeted, "To DR DeRozan's teacher, may we kindly request DR to be excused from school on Friday," with a smiley face. So, yeah, I came across that and saw it, and I was like, whoa. And I initially I was surprised that, somebody didn't tell her to be quiet or her dad didn't say something. But I guess if she's not screaming obscenities or anything, she's over there screaming to try to distract players. I guess it's not illegal. But she was very, very loud, and apparently some Toronto fans weren't appreciative, so they phoned in or emailed or whatever
being assholes.
Some threats, and we talked about that last week, last pod, about people just hide behind their online persona, and so you can say or do anything pretty much and not worry about repercussions. So
yeah, that's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
But
But
shout out to her because they didn't miss a lot of free throws, so it worked out. Mm-hmm. So too
Well,
bad she didn't. Too bad she didn't get to go. They made the post like she's out for school.
well, there's people, schools doing things to distract other teams' players from shooting free throws has a long history. I mean, there's a famous poster of this really heavy-set lady in a bikini, and she's missing her couple front teeth and long hair. And Charles Barkley was shooting free throws one time, and the mascot on their team, I think it was, kept unfurling this poster. And a lot of the colleges will do stuff, where a guy will strip down to his he's like in his swimming trunks, and with his goggles and everything. And just some schools take it really elaborate, they're very creative and do some funny stuff. So
Yeah.
but I guess this doesn't fall in the category of funny stuff. Apparently, it's more annoying stuff. But
Yeah.
so that was my NBA tidbit.
All right. So I got some more. Hold on. I'm trying to get this up for later use.
That's what she said.
Yeah. But I don't know why it's not working. So that's great.
You didn't use your blue pill.
Stop. So, and then more suspensions. This one's more current because the suspension hasn't been served yet. But Draymond Green's been suspended for
Draymond.
Game 3. I'm assuming you saw this.
I didn't see the actual play. I saw pictures. But did we not learn anything from Ndamukong Suh stomping on Green Bay players on Thanksgiving Day? You just can't do it.
Yes. So, watching the play again, because I was watching it live when it happened. So
Well, you talk, and I'm gonna bring this up, and I'll watch it, and I can maybe react to it live.
you want to react to it?
Yeah, you go ahead and talk about your.
Oh, so what happened was
spiel.
I don't remember what. Okay, I don't know exactly what was happening, but they were going for the ball, right? Sabonis was on the ground, and him and Draymond were tied up. So Sabonis was holding Draymond's right leg, and so Draymond was trying to leave, and so he was kind of trying to jump to get out of the way. Oh, that was an advertisement. He was trying to jump to get out of the way, but he kind of did it excessively where he jumped up and just stomped on his chest, trying to get away, and then he kind of jumped out of the way. And so he claimed he didn't have anywhere to go and that he's not the most flexible. He kind of what else was he supposed to step down on? And
Well,
so,
my initial reaction from the court angle, it looked like Sabonis grabbed his leg and was trying to hold him.
yes.
And initially, it looks like he just pulled his leg away and then jumped over him. But now I'm getting to see the view from the side. And Draymond Green teammate's actually the one that, he stomped on him and then lifted himself up onto his right foot and put his full body weight on Sabonis. So, and Sabonis reacts right away. He's like, oh, you can see he's screaming in pain. But the dumb thing I saw after the fact is how he got on the chair and was trying to egg on the Sacramento Kings fans. And I don't know how somebody on that team just let that go on. They needed to, pull him back and cut that in the bud. But yeah, Draymond's history is gonna bite him in the butt.
So it did look. I mean, it just looked bad because yes, Sabonis was holding on to him, but it literally looked like he jumped up and just stomped on him. Anyways, because if you're kind of just trying to get off of him, I get he had nowhere to go, but it just looked excessive.
Oh,
and
yeah.
knowing Draymond Green's history of kicking people in the PP, whether he meant to or not, or just egging people on. So that's what the NBA said. They said the suspension was based in part on Green's history of unsportsmanlike. Mm-hmm. Because you'll see him go up to refs and just start yelling at him, and they're usually pretty lenient with him. He'll just blah, 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 blah. Because that's who Draymond is. He's a big talker. Because he likes to get in your head and kind of to mess you up. That's just, he embraces it, which is okay. I like Draymond for that, but I don't think he necessarily had to stomp on Sabonis in that instant. And I also don't think Sabonis was necessarily in the right either by just holding on to his leg. So
Yeah.
I think fault's blamed, but I don't think Draymond necessarily
Well,
should have done what he
Sabonis
did.
got a technical, didn't he?
He got a flagrant, and then he got a flagrant too, Draymond, so he got booted.
Well, I can remember back when LeBron was with Cleveland in the series, and him and LeBron had some tussles in the paint and what have you. So, Draymond's whole thing is to try to intimidate you and get in your head mentally.
Yeah.
But it seems like last couple of years, maybe the other teams are using that against him, are just kind of reversing the role where they're using it to get him in trouble. And I know that last time he got suspended for a game in the NBA playoffs, his team ended up losing.
Yeah, that's when they blew the 3-1 lead.
Yeah, so, I mean, we'll see what happens tonight. They play tonight?
Yeah. Oh, no, they play tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, so. And they're down 2-0 to the Sacramento Kings, so.
Yeah, so. Yeah, it sucks to see him get suspended. And I know people talking about, well, it's in favor of they're just trying to screw the Warriors. But why the hell why would they want to screw the Warriors?
That's not true.
Well, someone made a point, too. They go, if they would win, they'd play probably the Lakers in the next round. Why would they not want them to play the Lakers? Because that's money.
Well, my opinion is anybody in that league did that to another player, they would all be suspended for a game. No matter their history or what. I mean, that's to me, it looked very flagrant.
So, well, who knows? We can't necessarily deny his intentions or say. Because we don't know what was going through his head.
His excuse was pretty lame, so.
But yeah, he was egging on the fans, and the fans, fuck you. They probably liked it, honestly.
Yeah. You can tweet the video out on Fast Intentions Pod, F Intentions Pod, also, Nathan.
All right, well, I'm tweeting out everything. So we'll do that.
You better make a list.
I better. So, yeah, so I think they're both in the wrong. But I think people say, well, where else was he supposed to go? Well, you didn't have to jump up and then just stomp on him, I would say, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, I've stepped on people accidentally, but not, and I don't just like.
Well, he jumped up and went. Koosh.
Yeah, I don't use my knee and leg like a jackhammer in full force. It's like, oh, you kind of tippy toe off of him, you know. But he landed that right leg and then extended his leg fully, and then he had his left foot off the ground, so he had his full weight on Sabonis's, chest, and he had to be checked, to make sure he didn't break any ribs or anything. Also after the fact, so.
Yeah.
But it was funny. Apparently, after the game, Draymond asked the team trainer to check his ankle because he hurt it when he was stepping on Sabonis. So.
No, I did see that. Yeah. People were making fun of him for that. Okay, next thing I got for you. Before I have my NBA playoff predictions, which I'll go through quickly because I don't think you have the NBA playoff predictions.
I think the Celtics will win over the Hawks. I know they're up 2-0. But
they should beat the Hawks.
Way to go out on a limb there.
So, but no, I meant like the whole playoffs. But the Athletic did this. I like the Athletic. If you read some of their stuff, they have some good reporters.
I think I actually have a subscription to it, but I always forget.
Well, I had a subscription through Twitter, but then I tried to log in through the Twitter and it doesn't let me. So now I just subscribed again. So that's cool. So they had the anonymous NBA player poll of 2023. So the players explained their picks for all these different categories. And so I just thought it'd be kind of interesting to go through them.
Okay.
And I didn't know if you were interested in trying to guess what the answer would be.
I can try. I'm not. You're the NBA correspondent here at Fast Intentions.
I know, but
along with the WWE correspondent.
That's why we can laugh along with you.
Oh, not laugh at me, laugh with me.
No, I'll probably at you, but no, I don't think you'll be too off on these. So, number one, they asked players, who is the MVP of this year? Do you know who they would have guessed? Do you know who the finalists for the MVP are?
I would say it's probably Joel Embiid.
That is correct. It was Joel Embiid.
Ding, 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 ding.
And
I'll do my own sound effect for that one.
He had, I accidentally backed out of the article, so let me get back down to him. He had 50% of the vote.
Ooh.
Jokic had 25. Giannis Antetokounmpo had 15.7. And then Tatum has some, but it's too small, so you can't see the percentage. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Luka also got votes.
Luka.
And Jokic is trying to win 3 in a row. First time since Larry Bird, but we'll see how that works. Let me skip through all the...
Lawrence Bird.
I don't care what people have to say about it. We just want to know. Who is the best defender in the NBA? They asked. Players.
I think I saw Jaren Jackson won that award.
He did, but he did not win. He only had 4%.
Oh.
And according to this, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th. I'll give you a hint. He is a guard. He is not a big man.
Is that dude from the Cavaliers?
He's not from the Cavaliers, no. He's in the East. He's on a good team in the East.
Jaylen Brown?
I wish it was Jaylen Brown, but it's not.
You got to help me on this one.
So Green Day has a song called this. That's his last name. Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween, Easter. Or examples of what?
Drew Holiday?
Yeah, Drew Holiday. Good job, man.
Ding, 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 ding.
Drew Holiday at 28.7% of the vote.
You should have said Patriots Day.
Yeah. There you go. Patriots Day. I should have said that. So he was first. Luke Wentz-Dort was second.
Gesundheit.
He's a forward for the Thunder. Over was third, but I didn't include
and the
Over.
Thunder.
Over's just so they 8.9% of the rest of it was
That's fine.
a bunch of different people. Brooke Lopez and Marcus Smart were tied. Well, 8.9. Bam Adebayo, Jaden McDaniels, Giannis, and then Jaren Jackson was 4. So, and then everyone always talks about how Drew Holiday is very underrated. So there you go. Next one, you're building a roster from scratch. Who are you going to sign first? Out of all the players in the league, who would you sign first?
Well, I would bet they said Giannis.
Yes, Giannis.
Antetokounmpo.
52.4.
Was your boy Tatum in there?
Yeah, he is fifth. Oh, he's 6th.
Wow.
Jokic is second with 8.7.
Oh, well, shoot.
So there's a
that
big
doesn't
gap.
matter, yeah.
Yes.
Dang.
Well, Giannis is probably the best player in the league. And he's still young.
The Greek freak.
LeBron is way down there.
Yeah, he's
People
old.
still voted for
Grizzle.
LeBron. Yeah. Who is the most overrated player in the league? And let me say, the leader got 14.8% of the votes because other had like 31. So there was a bunch of different answers for this. But one player got 14.8% of the votes.
Grayson Allen.
Grayson Allen's not overrated. He should be on there for dirtiest player of the year.
Yeah.
But no, actually, this person plays for a team you mentioned a little bit ago. And about how a certain team is up 2-0 against this team. Is your hint.
I know. I'm just trying to think. Thompson? Talking about the Warriors?
No. So you mentioned it after. Who's my favorite team? Celtics, right? Who are they up 2-0 against?
The Hawks?
Yes. So who's the overrated player? He plays for the Hawks.
Mitchell? Is it Mitchell?
No, he plays for the Cavs.
Oh, I don't know.
Trae Young. Trae Young has 14.8% of the votes. And so he's a good player, but he's not necessarily having the best year so far.
Is he a one-trick pony?
Well, he's kind of, people call him like Steph Curry because he can shoot the ball really well, and he gets like 9 assists a game, but he's like also considered like the worst defender in the league because he's so small. So
Well, he doesn't have a lot of help around him either, though. I mean, they could put some more pieces around him.
But they got DeJounte Murray. That was the big thing. He's a good all-star guard, but he's not. They're not doing much. Next was Julius Randle and Pascal Siakam tied, followed by Jimmy Butler and Rudy Gobert and Jaren Jackson Jr. all tied together.
The Butler did it.
And I haven't read any of these quotes.
That's fine.
So, but this one's just funny. This one, a player who voted for Rudy Gobert said, "To me, it's like he blocks shots. What else is he doing? He's 7'3". Someone said, "Damn, I hate to say this, but it's Chris Paul." And then someone voted for Tristan Thompson and said, "Someone like him has made a whole career out of just playing with LeBron."
And Kevin Love went that route for a long time.
Well, Kevin Love was really good before he went with LeBron.
Yeah, it was.
Yes, he was really, really good. He took a back seat because of LeBron and Kyrie. Who's the most underrated player in the league? Also say other was 34%, number one, and this player got 17.5 at the leader. They've also been previously mentioned.
Underrated. Is he a veteran?
Yeah. But I don't know how much that'll help you. I don't know how. No.
Jaylen Brown?
No, not Jaylen Brown. He may have won an award already.
I don't know.
It's Drew Holiday.
No.
They voted him most underrated. Followed by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Followed by Mikal Bridges, Jalen Brunson, Jaden McDaniels, Derek White, and then Jaylen Brown.
This is the red flag / holiday episode.
Yeah, there you go. Who's the greatest player of all time, they asked him.
Michael Jordan.
Yep, 58.3. And then LeBron had 33% next.
Ding, 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 ding.
And then Kobe was third with 6.8. Followed by Bill Russell, fourth.
Oh, yeah.
And then Tracy McGrady was fifth.
Wow.
So,
With all the history of NBA, Tracy
Yeah.
McGrady was fifth.
yeah, fourth.
Well, he was the man for a couple years there.
Yeah, they're young players too. You're not going to get this one, but this is a fun one. Who in the league would you like to fight the least? Who would you least want to fight with?
Brooke Lopez.
No, not Brook Lopez. It's James Johnson. He's like 37. He's an old player, but he plays for the Pacers, and he's always kind of known for being tough.
He's like that guy when you go to the gym and play pickup basketball. He's the guy who has the rec specs and all the pads on his arms, and you think, well, who's this guy? But he's like, gets you with the elbows and stuff, and he's always bodying you up and just real physical with you. And you're like, this guy is a pain in the ass to play against.
He said, nobody messes with James Johnson is one of the quotes. So he was first, followed by Steven Adams, 28, because he's the guy who looks like Aquaman. I wouldn't want to fuck with him. 15.6 was other. So third was Joel Embiid. Udonis Haslem was fourth. Giannis, Luguentz Dort. Admiral Schofield's on here, which shocked me. You don't know who that is. And Marcus Smart was on there, too. What arena has the worst fans? What team has the worst fans?
That's a tough one. If I was old school, I'd say Detroit.
They're second.
Oh, wow.
So
Must be those old Indiana Pacer fans.
no, it's the Hornets fans.
Hornets?
Yeah, because they say no one shows up.
That stings.
So it's funny. Someone voted for the Magic. They said just quiet, kind of boring, no energy in the building. We go to Magic
You can
games.
do magic. You can have anything that you desire.
And then who has the best fans? Which arena has the best fans?
Well, that's be Sacramento, right?
They're second with 12.1.
Are they probably the Lakers?
No, the Lakers
Celtics.
Yes, the Celtics. 18%.
I was there.
Which people were upset that Boston has the best fans because they're known kind of being the worst, racist. But someone said they talk crazy shit there and they voted for Boston because of it. So the best fans, I guess, kind of take it as you will. There's only a few more left on here.
Do you think Boston has the best fans?
Yes, because I'm one of them.
You're not biased, are you?
I'm not one of the racist ones, but I'm a Boston fan. They're just they get into their sports and they sometimes say things that they probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
But you can't speak for everyone. Which current coach, aside from your own, would you want to play for?
Greg Popovich.
Yep, 25.3.
Ding, 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 ding.
Followed
ding,
by
ding. Tyronn Lue.
No, not Tyronn Lue. He's fourth.
Nice.
Steve Kerr,
Uh-huh.
second. And then I don't know if you'll know that. You won't know this probably. Which coach would you not want to play for?
Oh, the coach that used to be at Chicago that's with a different team now. The balding guy.
Yeah, Tom Thibodeau.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was number one.
Ha ha! Ding, 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 ding.
44%.
You didn't think I was going to pull that out of my
No,
ass,
I
did
didn't.
you?
So I know someone says if he likes you, you're pretty cool, but you got to play 44 minutes a game. And then someone says if he don't like you, you're never getting in the game.
You got to practice boxing out.
I know. What does someone say? He goes, I love Thibs, but I heard his practices are crazy.
Oh, wow.
You'll get this one. Who talks the most trash on the court?
LeBron.
No. LeBron's not even in the top bit here.
Draymond?
Yeah. 26.3. Do you know who's second?
LeBron?
No, LeBron's not in the top. Evil says other includes, and it has all the names that's included, but LeBron's not in there. Patrick Beverley's second.
Oh.
25.2.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then Dylan Brooks is third.
Oh, wow.
Fifth is Joe Ingles.
Joe Ingles. Never heard of him.
Oh, one of them is the Memphis Kids is a whole category. So the whole Memphis team in general is talking mad shit. All right, that was it.
Nice. Very good.
So yeah, that's what people think. Oh, and then someone they had who's the most overrated player, and they said someone voted for the Grizzlies. Someone voted for the old Memphis Grizzlies. That's probably Draymond, because he's always beefing with them. All right. So let me go through my NBA playoff predictions real quick.
All right.
We're not going to be here all day. So I made these before the playoffs started because now we're kind of a few games into these series.
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
So I did.
This is the first I've ever heard of your predictions.
Well, I wrote them down yesterday, but I've been thinking about them. So it's not like I chose anything different because. So in the Eastern Conference, we'll start there. This one's pretty easy for me. I have the Bucks beating the Heat in 5. But now the Heat won the first game, and Giannis is hurt because he left the first game, and he's doubtful for the second game. I don't know, as of recording, if he is going to play. So if Giannis is going to be out for an extended period of time, the Heat, that may be kind of scary. So, but as a Celtics fan, I would love them to eliminate the Bucks right away. But I think if they were fully healthy, they should beat the Heat pretty easily in 5. The Celtics against the Hawks, I gave the Celtics in 5 because I don't really like picking anyone to win in 4 unless I feel really confident. I give it Trae Young. You know, they have a good shooting night one game. They steal a game maybe in Atlanta. But I think the Celtics should win. I also have the 76ers in 5 against the Nets because the Nets are rebuilding. So they're kind of just remnants of Kyrie and KD still in the playoffs. But I could also pick C76ers in 4, but once again, they could always steal a game. And the Cavs and the Knicks is a good, interesting series, which could go either way. But I picked the Cavs in 6. I just think they have more overall power against New York. And plus, it's the Knicks. The Knicks aren't going to be doing nothing.
The Knickerbockers.
So going to the West, I have the Nuggets in 4 over the Timberwolves. I had to pick someone in 4. I think if anyone's going to sweep, it's going to be the Nuggets. And then I have the Grizzlies over the Lakers in 7.
Oh.
The Lakers won the first game because, you know, the Lakers have been...
Well, Ja got hurt there for a bit.
Yeah, so Ja's not playing game 2, so that doesn't look as good now if he's going to be out.
Yes.
But, you know, the Lakers are a better team now after the Westbrook trade. They did all that stuff. But they didn't look too impressive against the Timberwolves when they did beat them without Rudy Gobert in. So, do you think kind of, they'll just throw it all together and win? There's a potential for that, but I just don't see it. So I went with the team that's been better the whole year in Memphis. And then the Warriors I picked in 7 over the Kings because I think that's a close matchup. But I figured the experience of the Warriors would give them the edge, even though they've been terrible on the road. So technically, if anything, they should protect home court because they've been really good at home all year, and then they just got to steal one game from the Kings. But now that Draymond's out for a game because he's stomping on people, who knows how that works. And then I did the Suns in 6 because I think that would go in 7 if Paul George was there, but Paul George is going to be off the whole
Well,
series.
I was really surprised that the Clippers were able to hang on and win that first game. And then
the second game was close, too.
Actually was tied the second game. Booker had to hit a late shot to win. So as long as Russell Westbrook stays out of the suites at halftime, we'll be fine.
There you go. So, yes. I have the Suns in 6. So then the second round would be the Bucks and the Cavs. I have the Bucks in 6. I think the Bucks are really, really good. I think them and the Celtics are the best 2 teams in the league. And then the Celtics, I have them in 6 over the 76ers. Because people are going to make the argument that Philly could beat them, but the Celtics always kick the Sixers' ass. We just got their number. Poor Joel Embiid. He's going to be crying again because he loses, but you're not beating us. And then, no bias at all.
None.
Nuggets versus the Warriors, I have the Nuggets in 7. Because the Warriors haven't been good much of the year on the road, and so why should I give them the benefit of the doubt in the playoffs? That's kind of my... That's like I did in the NFL once. Like, why am I thinking Tom Brady's going to fucking win this game against the Cowboys? Or whoever they were playing. Was it the Cowboys in the first round? You just go, I just get the feeling that Tom Brady's going to win. But they've been so bad all year, I can't give them the edge. That's kind of what I'm thinking there. And then I have the Suns in 6 over the Grizzlies. Because I think the firepower of KD, Chris Paul, and Devin Booker's too much. Just keeping it nice and simple. Bucks versus Celtics. I think this will be the NBA Finals. But I got the Celtics in 7. Because I'm not picking against my team, against the Bucks.
Nope.
Not doing that. So I got the Celtics winning. And then I got the Nuggets in 7 over the Suns. Because I like their depth more. I think they're a better overall team than just the 3-headed monster of the Suns. And knowing that whole thing, one of them's probably going to get hurt later. Because that's what always happens. So
Yeah.
Because KD and Chris Paul, I hope they don't get hurt, but you never know. So now I got the Celtics and the Nuggets in the finals. I know Grace, my sister, would love that. Because she's a Nuggets fan, I'm a Celtics fan. And I got the Celtics winning in 6. That's my predictions.
Not homerish at all.
Nope, not at all. I had to go with the Celtics. Couldn't go against it.
Sure.
So that was nice and quick. Or quicker than I could have taken it. So,
That's good.
any thoughts?
Well, like you said, I mean, those are good predictions. But, you know, the couple of injury factors will make a big difference in
Yes.
whether or not
I was
those
gonna
come through or not.
I was going to change it. I made my picks. I was thinking that before, so I'm sticking with it.
No, that's good. I mean, you know a lot more about basketball than I do.
But once again, they could just
The
be
Grizzlies are up 30-19 after the first against the Lakers currently.
Well, there you go. They don't need Ja. He's overrated. He should have been most overrated.
Not true.
Not
true.
Trae Young.
Not true.
No, I like Ja Morant.
Okay. Well, good job, Nathan.
Thank you. Oh, the Red Sox are down 7-0 in the third.
I saw that, but I thought I should skip over that.
Oh, fuck. Who the hell's pitching for us? Oh, Corey Kluber. Pfft.
Doesn't matter.
He's been a big disappointment.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Can anybody stop the Tampa Bay Rays? They're off to
15-3.
all-time best start in history, isn't it?
They tied the record with
They
the
tied the
Brewers.
record, yeah.
And then Toronto beat them 2 games in a row.
And then they were tied with the record with some team that played in the 1800s. So when you do that, you're doing something.
Well,
So,
of course, the Red Sox were caught there in that 4-game series. I'm like, fuck.
yeah.
And then the Red Sox got hit for shit. And then
Yeah.
they were up 3-1. And the Rays had like an 8-run inning. It was just like, all right. You get them at the wrong time.
Yeah, it was funny for a while. Everybody was saying they're on pace for 162-0. I'm like, yeah, I guess.
We'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah. So
They lose one game. Now they're on pace for 98 and whatever.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, I don't have I don't have anything else to add. Do you have a section for the rocket boosters? Do I need to put?
Actually, I don't have any. Are we staying with Nuggets, or do we go to asteroids, or what do we do?
No, it will be Nuggets.
Let's
still.
stay with Nuggets.
But we don't have any Nuggets.
I
so
actually don't have any Nuggets, so
I don't either. So I guess we're not doing it.
okay. Well, this was I don't know, what's our time?
I don't know. I'll check it right now. Like I said, we didn't have a whole lot going into it. So.
No, it's
We're still at an hour and 2 minutes.
oh, so
So we're still always around an hour.
well, we had to know all the others and the people getting 2% in the categories for the NBA.
No, I could have
So.
cut it a little bit, but it was fun. We had to do something. And I saw that when I was in the stall at the Storm Chaser game going through my phone, and I saw that.
Yeah.
Sorry for the visual, everyone.
Well, we're not supposed to record here for another couple weeks, but I think maybe we'll get together maybe quickly after the draft and just kind of give a quick, maybe do it on our phone or something.
Yeah. Well,
Fun. In a Land Cruiser somewhere, in a parking garage somewhere.
yeah. Well, my dad said he wanted to do like a mock draft, but I don't know a whole lot.
No,
So, I wouldn't have been able to.
yeah, that's fine. It's not a big deal.
So we can still talk about. I can talk about what Green Bay did if I like the picks, but like, well, he'll probably carry most of the draft stuff. I could talk about NBA playoffs maybe if that goes on. So we'll do something about the draft for sure because we can't just ignore it. And maybe Aaron Rodgers will get traded by then.
maybe.
Probably not, but who knows?
Yeah, that like I said, that's not a regularly scheduled pod, but we might just do a little short one and talk about the draft real quick, and then save the other stuff for the next show.
But usually sometimes we got something going on Sundays anyway, so it's just kind of like, well, we got to do it another day.
Mm-hmm.
So the schedule's just kind of whenever.
Well, whenever we can get together.
Yeah.
It's always a good time. We're glad you guys could join us.
Oh yeah.
YouTube, Spotify, F Intentions Pod, all the regular bases. Check us out. And if you like us, or even if you don't, refer us to a friend or share us or help us get the word out there.
Request a koozie through the Twitter DMs.
Yeah, we can get you a koozie if you need.
Yeah, we still got. You still got a box of koozies?
I have some koozies.
Yeah, I got some in my back of my car still.
Nice.
So, yeah. Well, thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah, so if you want a koozie, you can't wait, just break into Nathan's car.
No.